consistency and know your audience. Analyze it every single day. Figure out what they're watching. Figure out what their needs and their wants and their desires and their wishes are for the world. Our ancestors would be so disappointed in us if we spent all day complaining when we have all this abundance around us. We just have to learn how to utilize it a lot better. Just make stuff. People want to hear from you. They want hope. So go out and make stuff.
Welcome back to Trezor Talks. My name is Sean. If you haven't seen our show before, we are a hardware wallet company. We do Bitcoin security. And I am joined here today with, is it correct to say writer, director, and host?
Yeah.
Of the exit manual.
I'll take it.
Yeah, of the exit manual. And millennial with a Gen Z haircut, Julian Figueroa. Welcome to the podcast, Julian.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, is it correct to say that we could describe your channel as a Bitcoin YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because that's how I would say we typically have various people from the Bitcoin industry. And today, what we are doing is ranking Julian's videos in front of him on a tier list. A tier list right here.
This looks amazing in person.
This is based on, if you've never seen this, if you're unfamiliar with tier lists, it's a popular thing on the internet. It kind of runs off this is the grading system in America. Did they do this in Canada too? A, B, C, D, F?
I wish we had S tier in our grading system.
Yeah, we don't have
if I got
S
an
either.
S on my report card, I'd be like, yes.
Yeah, I think S it's from Japan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that where it comes from?
It's like, I've seen S, the first time I saw S tier was in Sonic the Hedgehog when you just absolutely rip it through a course.
They had S?
It shows you A and then the A explodes and then it turns into an S and you're like,
oh my God, I was never good enough to get that, I guess.
dude.
I only played it on the Sega
good.
Genesis,
You
like
gotta
that
get
far
good.
back.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, so that's where S comes from, everybody. And what we'll be doing is ranking these at random. Julian and myself, neither of us know what order these videos are going to come out in. So we're going to see what we get. Hopefully it doesn't just start off. For some context, I am a fan of the channel. I've been watching for some time. It wasn't just like we had Julian come on and I was like, who is this guy? I've been watching you for probably not that long, actually. You started maybe 9 months ago. And it's been a rapid ascent to success. It's been you're at like 45,000 subscribers now, I think, right?
Yeah. Close, yeah.
Did you ever expect to be here this quickly?
No. I knew that we were going to find some level of success that I hadn't reached before with my other YouTube endeavors that were a lot of me fafoing and trying to figure out how to play this game. But I didn't expect it to go this quickly. I do credit some of it to good market timing. We launched the channel 2 or 3 months for the all-time high. Now we're in a bear market. Now the show has existed longer in a bear market than a bull market, which makes all my Bitcoin propaganda seem a little silly. But
that's the nature of the beast,
if you followed my advice, you just buy every week anyways. So
yeah, well, this is honestly the time. This is what everyone always leaves, but you build
this is when you Uber and DoorDash on the weekends for the extra sats.
That's how you make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way this is going to work is the ratings are going to be based on 4 different things: the thumbnail itself, the idea for the video, the execution of the video.
Oh boy.
And finally, notable quotes. That's category number 4. So I'll have all of these, and I'll sprinkle some questions in as well. I've got some Bitcoin questions for you, some YouTuber questions, kind of a mix. If you've ever wanted to be a YouTuber, this episode's for you. If you're a Bitcoin person, this episode's also for you. But if you're both, that's probably the best mix. If you want to see kind of how this industry works. The irony here is that your channel is now double the subscriber of Trezor's, and I'm the one who's doing the tier list. But what's fun is what I really loved about this. I was making this. I was like, it doesn't have to be objective. This is my tier list. I can just say whatever I want.
Well, the reason that my channel has been able to outpace yours is because I'm allowed to make a bunch of racist jokes.
That might have something to do with it.
It's just worked to my benefit that everybody in the comment section calls me a xenophobe, all of them. I get all the phobes.
Are those the jokes that you get?
Oh yeah. Well, I've made some pretty rough ones on
I've
there.
always thought it's comparatively mild to a lot of people in the industry. There's not a lot of Bitcoin. Well, I don't know if I can say that. Well, maybe this will edit out if I have to. There's not a lot of Bitcoin influencers that I follow. There's not many that I like. You are one of the only ones where
Oh, I
I'm like, oh,
appreciate it.
cool, like an exit manual video. I wouldn't say I'm like the super fan. I'm not watching every single video, but every 2 to 3 weeks, and I'll put them on my save for later.
Yeah.
Like not everybody gets that treatment, and then I'll go back and watch them. At
Oh,
some
I'm trying
point.
to spare. I'm trying to spare the general public from the 2-hour podcast. Like you get 10 minutes, and maybe I'll make you laugh a little bit, and I won't tell you the world is ending, and then you can come back in a week if you want.
Well, this is how it's going to work. We've got the randomizer. I'm going to lean away from the mic real quick.
Oh boy.
This is our bag. It's our Satoshi Labs bag. I'll pull it out. And inside this bag are a variety of different thumbnails. And neither of us know what you're going to get. So you can take this bag and jumble around for one random thumbnail, and we'll see what we get here.
Oh, already bleeding all over the bag.
Yeah, they're
Those sharp
laminated, so
edges.
there's sharp edges on the
All
inside.
right. What do we have here?
It's rigged. Can you read the title?
Oh, something is deeply wrong with the economy right now. This is the first video that I've ever done.
Is that what? Yeah,
That was the
that's
first
it. That
one
was
on
the
the
note that I
channel.
made for myself.
Yeah.
And that was very purposeful, kind of, I guess, fitting.
That's actually
that
crazy
we pulled
that I
this
pulled that out
in the
first.
beginning. Yeah.
That's crazy.
The very first one. So we can here. Let's do this. I have double-sided tape.
Double-sided
that I put
tape.
here in the
Okay.
back.
All right.
While I start talking, you can peel that out. Can we reach far enough? There we go. And so basically,
Okay.
the first note I had about this is banger opening line. That's kind of it. Actually, we start off positive here. Do you even remember what your opening line is in the video? This is a long time ago.
No, I don't. This is probably the video I've watched the most though, but it's
Really?
so far away. Cause like when we were first putting out like the first episode, you're like, it's gotta be good. It's really gotta be good. And so we combed over every single word, but I actually don't remember any of it now because that feels like it was a billion years ago.
And I'm thinking of from a very similar perspective. I'm like, okay, first video, so this one's got to be like bad because it's like when they started. And I don't think I'd seen this one. This is one of the ones I watched in prep for this episode.
Okay.
A lot of these I had already seen.
It's the shortest episode ever.
Is it? How long is it?
It's like 4 minutes.
Oh,
and 47
4:47.
seconds.
Yeah, that's what it says right there.
Yeah.
Your opening line is, you want to know what makes no sense? You make 4 times more than your parents did, yet you own nothing. That's how it starts. And I was like, damn. I was like, that's a good one. And I mean, again, the irony is my mom was a doctor and my dad was a consultant. So I think they actually did make decent money. I don't know how much they made.
Nominally?
They seemed
not inflation
okay.
adjusted more?
Yeah, that's the thing. If you
Yeah.
adjust for inflation, I'm not sure, but yeah, the struggle is real, and yeah, I don't own anything, so that part is definitely
Well, you
true.
own some Bitcoin.
That yeah,
With your Trezor wallet.
or
right?
I don't own anything.
Oh right,
There's a-
no, boating accident. Yeah.
Obviously,
that's the
some
one
degree.
problem with the Trezors. Hey, is that they're not boating accident proof. Like if they fall to the bottom of
Yeah.
the ocean, there's no built-in mechanism for them to float back up.
Oh, you mean flotation?
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
did.
Yeah,
We did.
you guys got to fix that.
We
for
made the
sure.
last one out of metal, so
Yeah,
it just goes
that
straight to the bottom. But that is what the backup is for.
Mm.
If you're new, well, we won't get deep into it now, but you can recover it if you need to. But the thumbnail, we'll start there. You can show it to the camera again. I love the swirl effect. Or if that's what that is. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's an optical illusion from the text is kind of bent. It says it's rigged.
Yeah,
And it
that-
kind of creates this kind of rounding
Yeah.
to it. And I think like that's really cool. The copy itself though, it's rigged, is a little cliche. That's like
Yep.
the let's get them with the clickbait kind of thing, like
Yeah.
it's rigged, and they're like, oh, what's rigged? I gotta find out. That's
Yeah.
what it is. But I don't know. It's like it could just be because I spend all my time on YouTube, and so like I see this shit all the time. But I do like it overall. I think that's super cool. The idea is kind of broad. That is one thing. Something is this is the title. Something is deeply wrong with the economy right now. That's it. It's like it feels like a little bit like clickbait, which is like, oh, I don't specifically know what that is, and I probably wouldn't have distinguished it from like any of the other finance bros. Again, first video, but like that's kind of what I was thinking. But the thing is, the writing is there. Like you actually get into the video, it feels strong. The camera shots are there. I was like, there's this thing that I'm going to bring up again for sure is like, you're really good at filming in like different environments. Like you hit in kind of all these different places and you're seeing all these different backgrounds. And I was like, how did he already know what he was doing? You do have a film production background, right?
Yeah.
So you've done, it was like your degree or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
my
How
degree.
much had you done before this channel?
Tons.
Okay.
I've been making Bitcoin documentaries for years on another channel. Just didn't really know how to mass market or distribute them. And then basically like the story of Exit Manual came about like this. We Isabella Santos, who you might know,
Yeah, we had her on the podcast.
Okay,
actually.
does a very
She
similar.
sat where you're sitting now.
Perfect. Did a very similar style of show. And I realized that the game for YouTube is consistency. So that demands of you a show-like format that people can kind of show up to every 2 weeks, every month, every week, every couple days. If you want to have any chance at building a brand on YouTube, it's got to be this consistent thing that people look forward to. And something that also has some brand element that carries episode to episode, so it doesn't just feel like you're bouncing all over the place. And so right from the start, it was like, well, blue suit, we'll keep the blue suit. I think that blue is this color, color of my eyes, so nice little sync
I do
there.
associate that with you now, the blue suit.
Yeah, and then it's like a calming color, so it's like I'm gonna bring up a whole bunch of crazy stuff happening in the world, but the juxtaposition is at least, you know, my suit isn't glaring red and reminding you of the apocalypse. It's like a calm blue. But yeah, we basically started this company based on the back of my previous YouTube channel called Get Based. And Isabella launched a show called BTC Isla where she was talking about Bitcoin in a circular economy environment. And then eventually I was like, I got to get a show too at some point because we were doing video production to basically fund her YouTube channel before it was able to self-sustain itself. And we realized, oh, there's probably a better business model in actually just going all in on content creation than doing video production. Like there's always going to be clients for video production, but with YouTube, you're going to go through this period of maybe not being able to get subscribers when you're really small or sponsors. But where there's a will, there's a way. And we were like, we're going to figure out how to get it big enough to get it paid for. And we did. And this was the first episode. The first episode and the second episode are not sponsored. So very few episodes probably in this bag don't have me shilling some amazing product that I do actually use. But yeah, this one's shill free.
Yeah, because we do get to some of those sponsors. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, I've seen them like in some of the episodes and stuff. But I mean, yeah, the production value's there. And I saw, I think, some random clip of like what you were doing previously. I think it must have been on the Get Base website or something, but it was like some vertical video.
Yeah, we were
and
doing
it was
like tutorials for companies, yeah.
And it feels like this, like you already took like a big step up compared to that.
Yeah.
And the other thing I like about this video is that you build the story like slowly.
Yeah.
The word Bitcoin doesn't even come up until like 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
And it's a 4-minute video.
Well, it's a toxic word if you're not a Bitcoiner. That's
yeah,
the thing,
I know. I was
right?
like,
as soon as you hear
this
it,
had to be on purpose.
like try and think of the word Bitcoin if you're not in the space. If you don't own any, and if you're not a Bitcoiner, that word either means gambling, that word either means Ponzi, that word either means confusing or whatever. And so it's like, we know that Bitcoin is a solution to a lot of different things, but if you come out the gate with it hard, immediately people are going to just tune out for a second and think of that other word in their head.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, let's kind of like slow roll it in. Let's identify, let's diagnose the problem, and then let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's be a bit self-aware in how we talk about it, understanding that most people have that view on it. And then, soft sell into how it changed my life, basically.
That was my suspicion for like why you did it that way. Because I honestly, I feel like the exact same way. And it came up like that. It's one thing about just for context for people. We're in the middle of you're going to see this video later, but we're in the middle of a big conference in Prague called BTC Prague. Huge conference that happens every year in Europe. It's the biggest Bitcoin conference in Europe, actually. And it's right in the heart. And Julian had a speech yesterday that he did. It was like a keynote speech. And one of the big takeaways, or one thing that just felt different about yours, and I'm not just like trying to be like, oh, Julian, I love you so much, but genuinely, it was like one of the points you made, or it wasn't a specific point, it was just like acknowledging potential downsides or potential like a less bright future than this extremely hardcore 100% maximalist view, which I find myself even moving more towards like Bitcoin maxi. That's what we call them in the community. But it's like I don't feel like anyone acknowledges the fact that anything could go wrong or might not be as ideal as they think it could be. And I get some of that sense from these videos too, is it's kind of a much more fair, balanced conversation, which is what I like about them. Like you don't see that a lot in the social media space. It's like everything's positive, nothing could ever go poorly.
Or it's going to like negative 1,000.
Yeah, you just see extremes, and you don't see a lot of balance on this topic. And one of the other thing, back to the video, I didn't think this was going to come up so soon. This was the first video that confirmed you were indeed using an Osmo Pocket to
yeah.
film. Is this like the only, I'm going to show, well, let's explain this real quick to some of the viewers. If you have never seen this thing, you have to be watching the podcast to see this on camera. This is you use the 3 as well?
Yep.
Osmo Pocket 3, it is become like the creative tool of choice. If you want to be a YouTuber, this is not a sponsored ad. This is complete. It feels like it, but like I use this and I was like, that's why I recognized it. It has a facial tracking feature that will follow you around. I was like, this looks like the Osmo movement. And I was like, is he using an Osmo for all of this? And it's, you look at this in your hand, it looks like kind of small and you're like, how could that possibly be good enough for YouTube? It's powerful.
It is.
This thing, it's like a workhorse of a tool. And it wasn't until I have a shot right here, and we're probably going to superimpose this in the actual video, but I'll show you in person. I finally got the confirmation while you're getting a haircut, and I saw it in the mirror, and I was like, it is an Osmo. That is what he's using. So do you use that for
Every
everything?
episode. There's only one episode where we didn't use it. I don't know if it's in the sack, but you might know it if you've seen it. But every episode is just that camera, basically.
So you're not even using alternatives. It's only the Osmo.
It's literally just the Osmo.
That is, honestly, that is a real statement to the accessibility of YouTube. Because, like, what is it, like $400 for one?
Yeah, 400 or 500.
So for that plus the mic, you can start a YouTube channel with excellent quality. I mean, you have to get into like software and editing for like color grading and stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, it looks very good straight out of the box.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah.
But yeah, $500, you can start a high quality YouTube channel with a microphone and everything. It's like
you got to know your medium, because I used to be a camera snob, and everything I filmed, like when I was behind the camera, I wanted the best cameras. But I realized that like the story is so much more important. And like we need to just remember, even going back to like Blair Witch Project, like people have been shooting stuff on camcorders and making millions of dollars. And the only reason you, I think, need a camera that great is if the cinematography is like a big part of the character. But for me, it's like at every frame, it's sort of just me bouncing around. And so it's like the best tool for me is something that allows me to fill up a frame and be dynamic and kind of have this thing that I can non-intrusively pop up in the public. That's like a big part of the show. If I had a big camera like this, number one, someone might try and steal it. But number two, it's like, that's not easy to like set up, plop down, shoot. Like that takes so much time.
Yeah, it is a very like point and shoot tool.
Yeah.
I assume you're using like a tripod or something on it, right? You set that up and then go.
Right over there,
Oh, you have the tripod.
Yeah. If you get one of the tripods that I have,
that is it. That's the actual device too.
So these tripods, like the legs go up to almost the base of the camera. The legs do not go up very high on the tripod that I use. So warning, if you get one of those long tripods for the DJI, I don't know if you want to take a peek at that.
Yeah, we can actually take a look at it.
So I'll show you how this works. It's a telescopic tripod. So basically,
this right here is answering so many questions I've had.
you have your legs, right? But think about this. Like the taller you make this, the more unstable it's going to be. And I actually smashed and broke one of these. I had to buy a new one. So
that's not the original.
No, yeah, I've gone through 2 or 3 now. Make sure that you anchor the bottom if you use a tripod like this, because the taller it is, the less like, the center of gravity is going to be totally off, and a gust of wind will knock one of these over. So
okay, well that did just answer one of my questions for I'll just say it now because I'm sure we'll come back to it at some point. There's a shot where you've got like rubber ducks in the water, and it looks like the camera is like just hovering above the water.
I have put that in bodies of water.
Yeah, that makes sense now. If that's extending out of it, because like when you're just a viewer, you don't think about it that much, and if you don't think about like how someone made something. But since I've started this company, I can't not think about it now. Now I'm like, how did he do this? I'm like, where is the camera? I was like, because it was like piece by piece.
Yeah, I stuck it in a fountain to do a couple of those shots.
I was like, I'm pretty sure it's just him. I don't think he's filming the one. I'm pretty sure it's an Osmo, and that's just floating in water. I was like, how did he do that? So yeah, that was. But let's move on.
Let's rank this. Well, okay, are each of us going to give our own tier list?
We can. Yeah, actually, I wasn't even thinking
what's
of that.
What's your take on this?
You absolutely, we should. Now I would love that.
Now the pressure's on.
Yeah, so this is basically what I said I'm going to be looking at my laptop a lot of this because I have notes everywhere. But yeah, I was expecting that this was going to be lower because it was your first video. I was like, that was kind of like what I thought, like, oh, no way it's as good.
Yeah.
And like some of the jokes I think weren't as strong because that becomes like a regular part of your channel. Like you make a lot of jokes for that. It's one of the things I really like about the writing and the scripts. Keeps it easy to watch, keeps it fun. But it has a super strong second half. I remember in the first half, like I wasn't as into it. And then after the Bitcoin part, or after the Bitcoin drop, it was like something about it just really picks up. And it's such a convincing argument after everything you explained in the beginning, because you're talking about the problems of the economy. And it's a great introduction to the channel. That's the other thing. So I actually went, despite some of the criticisms of the thumbnail, I went with an A on this one.
Oh, wow.
This
That's
is like
generous.
it felt really strong after I finished it.
I give it a C.
A C.
I give it a C because
2 letter grades.
The point of this video was it wasn't optimized to get a ton of views. It was optimized just to be an intro to the channel. I was thinking I can't come up with a good first video that sells what the essence of the channel is, but also works as this independent, first video. So packaging wise, would you click it? To me, I don't know. I don't know why I would click this random person I don't know that says it's rigged with like a little chart. It was cool, but I think it was a first step before we started to get a lot better at this stuff. So I give it a C. So that means I'll meet you at the middle with a B on
we'll
it.
make it a B.
We'll make it a B for Bitcoin.
Yeah. We can slap it on there. Sure, and it fits the letter. Nice.
Yeah.
That's
All
exactly
right.
what we wanted.
Next one.
Yeah. So, actually, I want to say a few quotes as well. There were
sure.
2 quotes from this one. I started to think about Bitcoin in decades. That was one of them. I was like, yeah, that's a really solid one.
It's my first decade in Bitcoin this year.
And then one of my, congratulations. And then that's why I'm putting something together, or putting together something crazy on this channel with 1 subscriber.
Yeah.
That's how you end that video. And now I'm looking at it's like 45,000. And I was like, nice.
You know who you are, first subscriber.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's pick another one.
All right. Okay, this is another early one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, why I save 100% of my money in Bitcoin at age 29 or at 29.
Back when you were 29.
Yeah, good times, good times. I'm just an old man now.
Yeah, so starting with the thumbnail, I loved this thumbnail. This was one of the first videos I ever saw, which is one of the reasons I put it in here. I think it was the second. I know what the first one is. That one's in there as well. But something about this green background,
it just pops.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It stands out against other thumbnails. I remember thinking that when I saw it. It was so easy it's almost like magnetic. Like your hand goes towards, or I have the controller with the motion sensitive, so it's like you go toward. I watch it on TV. Yeah, that's why I typically watch YouTube. But yeah, I said stands out against. I like the copy too. Like I don't feel like that's too clickbaity. I'm all in. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, and it is. And it's also just like simplicity. Yeah, like it's easy to grasp. You can just go straight in. The title is a great hook. Like why I saved 100%. Like that is so extreme. Bold claim. Yeah, it kind of crosses over from dismissible to like intrigue. You're like, actually, like that is such an extreme statement. But the one thing I wanted to ask, one question I had about this one is like, are you not concerned with security? Being like, here's my face. I am a big YouTuber. I know that comes with the territory. Yeah, but it's like you're saying all of my money is in Bitcoin at the same time.
Well, caveat, I save 100% of my money in Bitcoin. People will learn that I own other things like clothes and property, but my savings are 100% in Bitcoin. So yeah, I do worry about my security sometimes, but also I don't, because I've figured out good practices for it. And it's like, I don't even know how to access a good chunk of my own Bitcoin, if that makes sense. So no one's going to get 100% of my Bitcoin, and the amounts are not disclosed, so I don't worry about it too much. But
that is what I would say.
You gotta be super secure. I mean, especially when you're a public figure with like disclosing amounts and all that stuff.
Well, it's something that we both have, and that I think about more. It's like, like I can't do anything about my face being on the internet.
What I don't worry about too much is like, you get to see me every single week wearing this like tattered suit, and I'm like begging you to buy something from one of my sponsors. And if you know me personally, you know it's just this existential grind of trying to make these videos every single week and making sure that the show is sustainable. If I was loaded, I wouldn't be shilling you anything. Yeah, I think it's pretty clear at this point that I make these out of like sheer fun. I think if I wanted to make money, I probably wouldn't do YouTube. So I don't think there's much to get from me if you understand like the incentive structure behind why I make these.
Like the messaging is built in.
Yeah, like if I really was loaded, like you'd be getting these all the time for free. No product placement required.
Yeah, and that kind of ties into another question I had, is you're talking about like, I mean, I don't know if grind is the proper term, like how much time you're actually spending on this. How much time are you spending like writing, filming, all this? Because you're doing weekly like, posts, aren't you?
Yeah, this is a brutal thing I have to work on, obviously.
It feels like a lot when I watch
It's a good 60 to 70 hours a week to produce
Oh
this.
my God.
Produce this. Yeah, it's exhausting. But it's so fun. Like I've gotten more efficient with it. The thing that is the hardest to get more efficient at is really writing it, because we have this bank of ideas, we validate the ideas, then we have the title, and then we kind of go. But you can have a title and then your thesis is sort of a little bit different from your title. And so we lock in the titles and the thumbnails way ahead of time. Like by the time that we had this, I was like 2 weeks from even starting the script. So we will kind of know exactly what we want. We know what'll get clicks, but then we have to decide, okay, so what is this actually about? Like, what am I trying to convey in the 3 points or in the 6 minutes? And that takes a lot of time to kind of like figure out. And I like to go through the script with a fine-tooth comb. I don't want to waste people's time, because the whole point of having a short show is that you deliver on the jokes, the information, and all that as efficiently as possible. But yeah, that process is like 2/3 of my time. The other third is acting, and I'd say maybe less than a third, because that's now only a day or two I spend to film these whole things. And then notes and workshopping the edit. We do 1 revision of the edit. We have this amazing team. They give me a cut. I give them 2 hours of feedback, and then they clean it up, and it's ready on Thursday.
So you do cut, feedback, cut.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
There's only like one go at the revisions usually.
I wouldn't have thought that thumbnail and title came first.
Oh yeah.
You begin there and then write.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I do the opposite. I think I write this idea that I have, and it's like, what's a good thumbnail we could do for that? What's a good title?
We've fallen into the trap where sometimes we like lock it down, and then the script changes, and then we're like, okay, well, this is actually what the video is about, so maybe we should change the thumbnail. And those are the videos that do the worst. The ones where we have the thumbnail and the title planned out from the very beginning and we are locked in on it have always done better than the ones where we're kind of like last minute choking and changing it.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And do you film the same script or lines multiple times in multiple places?
Not multiple places, but multiple times, yeah.
Definitely times.
You guys do not see it, but for every one line that I say on this show, I have said the same thing to camera probably 9 times. Minimum 9 times. I will say the same words over and over and over, because I just know internally like what the right pronunciation or the beat is on what words to emphasize. And I'll just try it over and over. And my editors know this. Like the worst takes are when I just start in the morning. I'm so sloppy at memorizing. By the end of the day, I'm cooking. Like I'm absolutely cooking. But yeah,
that's
a lot of footage.
That's super interesting. Because like
some people are great. They can do the scripts, and then it's like 2 or 3 takes, and they're good. Now, for me, it's like 9 to 13 for every 2 sentences.
But you're also like by yourself, so you have no one to give you feedback if you're up there. Because like I'll ask, we have like cameraman, I'll be like, hey, how did that take look? Because it's kind of hard to get outside your own head when you're the one doing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, that's like nature of the channel if that's like your style for doing it.
Critic.
In terms of execution, there's one point you made in here that was like most rich people have their money in one asset, which you're talking about the elite. There's like Mark Zuckerberg's coming up, Jeff Bezos is coming up, which I was like fair because that's technically true, but I felt like it was misleading because I was like, you could take away 99.99% of their wealth and they would still be able to like live off of like whatever the rest
it's true. No, it's true. It's like they're rich beyond their means. But I think the point is that like regardless of how much wealth you have, volatility scares you to some point. Whether it's you're worth $1,000 and that goes to 2,000 or 1,000, but I mean everybody counts their wealth on their fingers a little bit, I imagine.
Yeah.
You know.
And there's one shot in this that I really like. This is something that I hadn't thought about it much as a viewer, but then when I started in preparation for this episode, thinking of it as a creator, I was like, there's so many good choices that you make. Like you say fiat is a melting ice cube, and you hold up dollars in your hand with ice cubes on top of it. Yeah. I was like, that is such a good visual illustration of this.
Well, I've heard it in the books like a billion times. So I was like, I'll do it. It's hard to get that ice cube shot. I had like a thermos because I had to reload it and do multiple takes, and because it's just like you get like 2 takes before the ice actually just does melt in your hands.
Yeah.
So I had a full
you
thermos.
You can't do 9 takes of this.
I had like a full thermos full of ice cubes to do it a bunch of times.
But there's stuff like that. It's just a moment in the video. Most people wouldn't think about that. And the fact that you had to bring ice cubes with you to a park and then put them on top of dollar bills and film it, like that takes a lot of work and a lot of time.
That's fun.
But it's just like a brief little joke that comes in.
Yeah.
This is one of the videos I think I was a little harsher with. I said I felt like the messaging felt like a little flat because it was more of the what and not as much of the why. It's like how I did it and not like the explanation behind it as much.
That's true.
So I was like, that damaged it for me a little bit. But oh no, there was one quote. That's the other one. I had it here. Once you see through the illusion of diversification, I didn't say this yet, but you're like criticizing diversification because you're doing 100% into one. Once you see through the illusion of diversification, you'll realize that going in on what you actually believe in makes the most sense. And I was like, sounds good. Sounds like a cool quote, unless you're like a flat earther, or you like follow like you love like you believe in like tarot cards or like something like that. I was like, then it breaks down like a little bit because I understand the point that you're making.
Yeah.
But that was my criticism of it. And also, are you actually convicted in that like a lack of diversification? Because I share the conviction in Bitcoin that you have, but I would still put my money into other things.
I think it's nuanced. Like, I think it just depends what your goal is. But the point of the video is like, I think young people should be focusing a lot more than diversifying. And that's like the trap is like, I got to save like my parents. It's like, no, your parents are trying to protect themselves from being poor at like 80 or 90. Like you have time, you can fail and rebuild. Like none of the most successful people between 20s to 30s were doing anything but concentrating. Like Elon Musk just came out and he sold PayPal and he immediately put his money into SpaceX, Tesla, and like another company. And he almost like Elon's wealth has come primarily through conviction and concentration. Now I don't think that's everyone's story, but when you have so much time on your side, like I think concentration makes way more sense. But diversification is sold to you as a product. That's my biggest problem with it. It's like banks like vehemently promote it because they're able to sell you those diversified products. If you only want one stock, what is a bank going to make from that? Nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is, I mean, yeah, I generally do agree with that because especially when you get into, it's so hard to have this conversation because you start sounding like tinfoil hat, big like conspiracy theorist, like everything you know about money is wrong.
Yeah.
And like you should just disregard everything you've been told in finance
I'll
class.
take the criticism. I probably spoke in absolutes, but hey, this is show business, baby.
I mean, ultimately it worked because I watched it.
Yeah.
But this is one of my harsher ratings. I made this one a D.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do you have the?
Oh yeah, we got our sticky here. There you go.
I like this one. This is actually one of my favorites.
What are your favorites?
Yeah. Because just from an execution standpoint, this one, my amazing strategist Ben, who might be watching this, he had the idea for this, and it was like he was so convinced it was going to do well, and we're like, okay. And he said it's going to get 50,000 views in the first week, and I'm like, really? Our channel has like 1,000 subs. He's like, I'm sure of it. And sure enough, like this is actually the one that blew up the channel.
That
was the first one that blew up.
Is that your most popular?
Not the most popular, but it was the first one that just blew up, out of nowhere and kind of skyrocketed the channel.
Yeah, because that one
was the third video we made.
I think it was the second one I saw.
So I'm gonna give this one an A, but I'll let you pick if it goes in B or C.
We're going on the harsher side.
All right.
I'm not having people come in and be like, oh, he just went easy on him the whole time. I'm like, no, we're putting it up there.
That's fair. Okay.
But it was one of the first ones that I saw, which I do appreciate it for that as well.
There you go.
And still banger thumbnail.
All right. Oh, here we go. This is a famous one.
Oh, yeah.
I asked 100 finance students about Bitcoin, and now I'm worried.
I have, I think, a lot to say about this one. Do I? let me go up to this one. Yeah, this is about 6 months ago, and it's also one of your I think this is second highest viewed.
This one blew up.
This one,
it was insane.
I had not seen this one before the last week. This is another one that I watched just in prep. And actually, not in contrast to the last one, not the biggest fan of this thumbnail. I do feel like it's a little unbalanced. Like it just kind of feels like the information's kind of everywhere. And I am not an arrow guy. I hate arrows. Okay. Like it is one of these because it's like I think it's one of the reasons I hate it is because it works. And I know it does, and now I see it everywhere. I didn't say this before, but like YouTube is my main like entertainment platform. Yeah, I do that more than anything else, more than Netflix, more than any streaming service. It's like the thing. So I see arrows everywhere, and this is why I said I get to have my subjective opinion on this. It might not necessarily align with the objective opinion, but like I don't like arrows, and so that's a hit for me.
That's fair.
But you are doing something that I like, which is like the reduced YouTube face. Like people have done this super over-exaggerated thing, but you've kind of got one that's pulled back a little bit. And that seems to not just be doing better, but I just like that more. I like that it's not like completely overselling it.
Yeah.
You've got the emotion there, which I think is cool. I also didn't understand what the asterisk meant. It says asterisk, actual finance major? Is it just like, this is
Yeah,
a
that's
note?
fair.
Or like,
I think it's almost like it was a little bit like we wanted to go for something a little bit subversively ironic. Like if we went all caps, actual finance major, it feels like this feels almost like a little bit lo-fi, low key, a little more casual.
But on the other hand, again, I think it does pull the attention, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the overall, I gave this not the full video, but just the thumbnail. I gave like a C-ish.
Okay.
Like somewhere around there.
Okay.
However, the idea, A. Easy A.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I love this. Like, I asked a whole bunch of people. Or it is a format that I've seen a few times. Like, I asked X, Y. Like, kind of that is the format. I asked this person that. Like, that's kind of a thing. But this is one I've never seen. I've never seen it applied to this subject. And the video itself, like, as it goes through, it feels like real. Feels genuine. Like, the way you're... I like that you have... the sign. Aren't you wearing that in the video?
Yeah,
The sign, which is a big Bitcoin logo on it, and you're walking up to what college campus is it?
This is University of British Columbia.
And so that was like where you went, right?
Yeah, it's like the second biggest university in Canada.
So this is a big one.
Yeah.
And then I love how you bring up like the idea of like, what is money?
Yeah.
Like that is something that
finance students.
Yeah, I know.
And
I
economics students. Yeah.
So many people don't think about that, and then it's especially interesting to ask that to the students themselves. While you've kind of got this dynamic of like those characters in your video, and then the viewer themselves asking, "Have I ever thought about like what is money?" Because I've encountered that myself. Like I was like when I probably around the time I was starting at this company, I was like, I really haven't considered that deeply before, and exploring that throughout the whole video. Again, that's another A for me. Like, thought that was a great way of doing it. Love how it plays out. All my quotes from this one are from the students themselves, because I just think they're funny the way people were talking. You asked them about Bitcoin, and they were like, some of the things we said earlier, it seems like gambling to me. Someone said it's like digital gold. You hear that a lot. It's volatile. It's a classic, which I kind of thought we were past this one. Criminals use it for money laundering. That I feel like we're never going to get away from that one.
Yeah.
That's like always there. My first counter argument, by the way, for that one is like fiat is used for money laundering. Like criminals use normal money.
Yeah.
That's like the medium is just the medium. And then one dude said something that I thought was really insightful because I don't hear this much from people outside of Bitcoin. He goes, I saw people posting online and complaining like, I should have bought Bitcoin when it was down. Now it's down and people aren't buying.
Yeah.
That was what this guy said. And I was like, whoa. I was like, that's a lot of like my coworkers say that kind of thing. And one of the questions I had for you about this was, are you surprised that it's taking so long for Bitcoin to like gain traction? After it's like, I feel like in 2016, it's like, well, yeah, it felt like a little more esoteric, a little more bit obscure. But now we're in 2026, and you're talking to finance majors, and a lot of them are like, no, I'm not really into it. Like,
I mean, I think that's why the video did so well. Is like, I like great videos. They always like the thumbnails you click are the ones that set up this contrast or intrigue, and then the ones that you stay for are ones that basically almost subvert your expectations and keep you interested. And so this is one where I went in and we were like, well, let's see what they know. I assume it's going to be pretty decent. They're finance students. Like some of them will have it. Some of them will have opinions on it. And the amount of people that basically didn't know anything about Bitcoin was shocking to me. You know, it's just like you're getting a finance degree. You're going to be doing accounting or you're going to be doing portfolio management. Like, shouldn't you have some interest in the most exciting asset story of the last 20 years?
And they're young.
Yeah. And it's like there's no curiosity in it. Like so many people, I would say, 30% of the people there, I would say, had like a beginner level understanding of Bitcoin, but the rest are like zero. Like it was incredible.
There are a few
and we tried to put in like a good chunk of the people that actually understood it, and then we did a chunk of the video where we went to like the economics area, and I didn't put a bunch of this in here, but I was asking people like, what do you think of Keynesian? Do you agree with Keynesianism, right, or Keynesian economics? And they're like, I don't know what that is, and I'm like, you're like 2 or 3 years into an economics degree and like you haven't heard about like Keynesian economics and like MMT. Like I learned this stuff off podcasts. Like what is going on here? This is crazy.
It's big in the Bitcoin spaces.
Yeah, and I have this is the video most likely to get a sequel. We are planning to take some trips down to American universities and maybe do a bunch of these actually all at the same time.
That'd be awesome.
I asked 100 Harvard students about Bitcoin. Now I'm worried. Like we're gonna do a whole bunch of variations on this because it was just the only challenge with making this video is that the interviews are not normally something I do in an episode. So I'll have like scripted segments, and then this one has a bunch of interview segments. And Canadians are a little bit shy, so I had to wear the sign to get them to come up to me. In America, hopefully people are less shy. They'll just like come up to you if they see you with a camera.
Wait, so you're saying the sign helped?
The sign helped.
It got people in.
Because I was there one day without the sign, and I was like, hey, do you want to be in a video? And it's just like me trying to get people, and they're like, I'm on my way to class or whatever. And as soon as I had the sign, people were like, what's that about? And then I'd be like, hey, come here, let's shoot.
You got the hook.
But it's exhausting. Like this video took 3 full days of filming.
Damn.
Versus the typical like 1.5 that we do.
It's tough to do.
Yeah.
Like we've done it. We mentioned BTC Prague earlier. Like I've literally done that exact same thing.
Yeah.
Especially with Bitcoiners who want to be private.
Yeah.
Like it's quite a game trying to get people on camera for that kind of thing.
All right. So what is your overall rating on this one?
I really liked this video. I was a big fan of this one. Was about to give it an S.
Okay.
Was about to give it an S, and then the Blockstream Jade Plus ad came up at the end, and I was like, oh, it's our competitor. I gotta knock it down to it. So it's an A+ for me.
Okay.
That's what
I'll give it an A because I have ideas of how to make this one even more viral for next time.
Let's put this in between. I think that's fair for an A+.
We'll go A?
Yeah, like halfway between A and S.
All right,
yeah.
All right. We'll get a little sticker for
Oh
that.
yeah. I keep forgetting to give you your ammunition.
All good.
There you go.
Halfway. This is gonna make it very weird, but
the next one I think will just come out further.
All right.
We'll go. Yeah, we won't have to shove them in there, but I think that's fair. That's all right. Next one.
All right, next one. All right, what we get?
What is this? Yeah, I read 42 books.
Okay, pressure's on you now. Because I'm about to tell you.
Yeah.
This is my favorite episode of all time.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's my favorite one. Easy.
Damn. Well, that
everything about it, executionally, packaging wise, favorite episode of all time. If you've never seen the exit manual, this is a great place to start.
Yeah. So that works out pretty well. This is also my favorite episode.
Oh, really?
I was gonna say that too.
Let's go.
And it was the first one that I saw.
Oh, amazing.
This is what got me into was this video.
Yeah.
Because I saw thumbnail. I love. Actually, no. I had a question before all this. Before we say anything, did you actually read 42 books on Bitcoin?
Yes.
So that is real. That's not bullshit.
I have listened to a lot of those books instead of actually reading them. But yeah, I've gone through 42.
I mean, yeah.
I've actually probably gone through like more than 42, but 42 is a nice double 21, right? So.
In the full... I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Nice.
Answer the universe. Right?
The full title, I read 42 books on Bitcoin. Here's what makes you rich.
Yeah.
Did very well also. This is 147,000.
Yeah.
6 months ago. It feels so much longer. I keep forgetting like how young you are as a YouTube channel. It hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
Love the thumbnail. Think it's super cool. Maybe the copy's a little cliche. It says copy this. That happens a lot. I do see that a lot.
This entire packaging framework was 100% stolen from another video in the finance niche.
Was it?
I'm not gonna 100%. Well, no, we mixed 2 elements together. This, I read X books. Here's what you do with X or Y. That format has been in the finance niche. It's been done in a bunch of like different knowledge niches. Like I've read 42 fitness books. Here's how you get ripped. I believe someone else might have done it on the Bitcoin niche.
I've seen it a few times. I can't remember exactly what category.
The big difference is I've seen people do this thumbnail, and what they'll do is they'll like put their face in between like a stack of books, or they will like hold like a stack of books. And then I saw this other girl do this thumbnail, and not many people had copied her. And it was this thing where she had just the whites of the books, but like the titles were leaning in, and it was creating this really good depth. And she was in the center of them. And I was like, we have to do it. And the great thing about this thumbnail is it's actually all legit. Like these are all real Bitcoin books that I have. They're not
this was
just
practical effects.
Yeah, this is not AI generated. Like we literally took this photo. The only photoshopping really in here was to make my face a little brighter, and then we took out the background of my apartment. But usually a lot of thumbnails these days are AI generated. This one was all real books.
Yeah, so. Visually I love it. Like the balance, the way the books are creating lines that are pointing. That's like a filmmaking thing.
Yeah.
You're like pointing it towards you in the center. Yeah, I like that a lot.
I gotta make some more banger thumbnails like this one.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gave that an A. The idea I said S. I just really loved this, and I'd never seen it for Bitcoin, like I said before. Yeah, I said like it's not like 100% unique per se, but it takes actual work. And I think Bitcoin's like an underserved category for this type of video. So it's like, you're the only one I've seen do it. And I get a lot of these suggestions. And just in general, not a lot of people have read Bitcoin books outside the heavyweights.
Yeah.
Like everyone's heard of Bitcoin Standard or what's the one with Internet of Money?
Yeah.
I think is what it is. That's the other one. Like those are the two you always hear about. But I was like 42. I was like, they have that many? I was like,
well, here's
I
the
couldn't
thing
even name that many.
is like there's a pipeline where either you get into Bitcoin as like a casual buyer observer or you become one of the Bitcoin crusaders. And so your path is either make a book or make a podcast. And so for every 42 books, there's like 500 podcasts, but eventually like the path for a lot of people is to make books. And I don't know. I find that for me, it's easier to get into audiobooks than it is for podcasts. And so I've like skipped a large portion of Bitcoin podcasts in service of like the books. But there's some like really esoteric ones that I've read. Like I've read books that connect Bitcoin to Christianity. I've read books that connect, Bitcoin to all sorts of like spirituality, psychedelics. Like these are not, finance investing books. And maybe I'll do a video on those like really weird ones at some point. But
I have
there's
met those characters.
lot of Bitcoin books. Oh yeah. Scott Deedles has done a great book on Bitcoin and spirituality and like the Tao and all this stuff.
I didn't know they had books behind them. I mean, I met these people in real life, mostly just from being in the industry at this point. And that kind of makes sense because in my head, I'm like, what do you do? Like, what else are you doing in your life? I guess that kind of thing, that would make sense.
Make a book these days.
Yeah, in terms of execution, I thought this was all, I don't have much bad really to say about any of this. There's like, at one point you point out all the different industries like housing, health insurance, gas, coffee, all of them have the same inflation problem. You say at one point you're like, prices aren't going up, the value of the dollar is just going down, and you add by design at the end, which I think is really important because first, even without that, it's like thoughtful, and then on top of that, you're like, ooh, yeah, like when you really get into it, you're like, and you start like learning about these things, you're like, it is like. I'm someone who's always been very cautious around conspiratorial ideas because that sounds conspiratorial, and a lot of these ideas that we push in Bitcoin sound that way. And then you start learning about it, and you're like, "Nah, that's how it is."
Well, like you just have to think of it from like pure incentives, right? Like if you racked up a massive credit card bill, and someone said tomorrow that, well, we might be able to get you access to print money, but it'll be at the cost of like a bunch of other people, like you'd probably do it. Like, screw that. I have a credit card like bill, and that's annoying. It's just like, but like, what if the rest of humanity loses like a 3% purchasing power? It's like, I don't give a shit. I want to get rid of my credit card bill. And that's how the government thinks about it. It's just like, they don't actually care about you. They don't care about the implications. Like, it's not their problem. They're going to be out in 4 to 8 years. Like, they want to take care of the now, right? And so,
natural incentive is a good way to put it. Because then it stops being about, oh, someone's just like a villain cackling behind the desk. And it's like they're just doing exactly what they're incentivized
and it's like, look,
to do.
if we don't print this, then like so many worse things could happen immediately, which is like pensions go unfunded and this, and that's always a justification for printing is like, if we don't do it now, if we don't kick the can, all of these terrible things are going to happen. So they kick the can, it becomes someone else's problem, and then thankfully, if you're the reserve currency, you can print without nearly as many consequences, but it doesn't work if you don't have the reserve currency. The printing gets a lot harder.
I think someone said that in the student video when you asked the 100 students. He was like, a government is, I think I wrote that one down, but I didn't say it. He's like, no government is ever going to pick Bitcoin over their own currency. And I was like, that's another good. He's not wrong. Like, I feel like I knew that, but I hadn't like put that into words before. But it makes sense. In this video, you slip in the supply cap as well. It's just like, I don't remember how you did it, but I know you just kind of slid it in, which is like the perfect way to do it because if you have people who have never seen your channel before, and they're like, oh, what's this whole Bitcoin thing? And then suddenly they get introduced to this idea that they've never thought about in a really comfortable way that I can't think of a better way of doing it. Because like a lot of people criticize Bitcoin like they could just do more the same way they do dollars. And it's like, to us, that's like 101 Bitcoin. It's like, well, of course not. We know that.
My favorite metaphor for this is comparing it to domain names because people actually understand that one. Because it's like, well, why does this digital thing have
I have
value?
that in here. That's one of my notes somewhere. I remember you saying
like,
that.
Well, I don't know. Like, if you had a chance to own Bob.com for $1,000, like, you would probably take that because you understand there's probably a lot of Bobs out there who want Bob.com. It's kind of like clear, right?
And you wouldn't say, oh, I can't touch it. I can't feel it.
Yeah, I can't touch it. I can't feel the domain name. It's just like, no, we understand the domain name thing we have for a long time. And it's just like the only difference between Bitcoin is there's more than one, but it has those same desirable digital properties that a domain name has, right? So, and it's also, I believe domain names are decentralized to some extent. Like it's on the internet protocol level. They can be transferred and all that stuff, right?
I think anyone can do it if
yeah,
you pay for
exactly.
like a basic one. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
I'm
the
gonna reuse that metaphor again at some point.
yeah, I mean, I remember. I think another thing that helps it make sense is like it is just an unfamiliar technology.
Yeah, yeah.
At some point, people will be familiar. Like people say, and the domain thing is perfect because so many people didn't understand the internet when it came out.
Yeah.
Like a lot, even in like our generation, like people under the age of 40, we were all quite young when that was being implemented.
Yeah.
There's a video of David Letterman asking Bill Gates about the internet, and he's trying to explain it to him. And David Letterman is doing the talk show host thing and making dismissive jokes about all of it.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, this whole clip is just the audience laughing at Bill Gates.
Yeah.
And he's trying to go like, I think he says something about baseball games. He's like, well, instead of having to like wait for a baseball game, you could just watch it on the internet.
Yeah.
And David Letterman goes, does radio ring a bell? And everyone, they all start laughing. And and I'm like, God, that sucks if you're Bill Gates and you're like, I know what this thing does. And everyone is acting like I'm a moron.
Yeah.
Like, and my mom, she told me when we got our first computer that she was like, I don't understand what we would ever use this for.
Yeah.
It was like first desktop in the home. And I feel like Bitcoin is in a very similar place right now where people are like, I just don't get what you would use it for. Pacing and delivery on the whole video are great. I think by minute 3, you've covered printing money in a super graspable way. You already talked about it in the video. This was the first time I saw, actually, I can definitively say this is the first time I saw AI and said to myself, that was a good use of AI.
Oh,
and actually,
thank you. Yeah, when I
mean,
switched to my sweater.
No, it's not that. Was that this episode too? Because
Yeah.
I almost had a note about
This
that.
is the first episode where I don't wear the blue suit for the whole thing too.
It's not the sweater because I noticed that. I actually didn't notice that the first time I watched it. I noticed it on rewatch. It is the desert shot. You're sitting there and it turns into the desert and it fundamentally changed the way, I don't want to oversell this, but genuinely it changed the way I thought about AI usage. Because what that did is I said, why was I fine with this? Why wasn't this offensive?
Yeah.
And the reason was because you're not trying to trick someone with AI. No one thinks that you went out to a desert and suddenly did a match cut.
Yeah.
And was sitting in an actual desert. You used it like in this kind of artistic way, but you weren't trying to subvert people's intelligence.
Oh, thank you.
And that's what is, so much of AI, like either slop or things that are imitating real life, they're doing that. They're trying to trick people into thinking it's real, or they're doing 100% reconstructions.
Yeah.
And this was like, you're making a point, turns into a desert, no one feels fooled, and then you just move on. And I was like, that is an excellent use.
Oh,
I was
I
like,
appreciate
and it's
that.
literally the first time I ever thought that.
I am a huge fan of the AI tools. We could get into this, but for me, like the generative video stuff is so cool and so powerful, and it totally unlocks this new way of thinking about how you write things. Because like I'll have these random gags, and like I have this video I'm doing on Europe right now, for example, and one of the jokes I'm making is like, no one in Europe is having enough babies, and so I open this line and I'm like, babies, Europe isn't having enough of them, and I'm standing by this railing, and there's gonna be a like a little baby bassinet. And I'm going to say, babies, no one's having enough of them. And then I'm going to get the AI to have like the bassinet like fall off the railing into the river, which is like a super dark, absurd joke. And like, I couldn't pull that off practically. What, I'm going to get someone to like push it into the river or something, or I was going to
attach to a
I was going
string.
to After Effects it. Like, no, but now I can do these like odd jokes and we'll see if they land and we'll see if they'll not. But like this unlocks like a new level of being able to execute comedy, which I think is super cool. Like we got to be stoked that at least it lets us try some new things. So yeah, no, I love generative video.
Yeah, one I hadn't seen before is like it's like a meta joke where you're like, and maybe at some point we'll think about using AI, and then you transform into a robot and like puppies run on screen and birds fly out of your head. It's like, it's really funny to use it like in that case.
Why not, right?
But favorite quotes of this, 99% of people don't understand Bitcoin because they don't understand what problem it solves.
Yeah.
I was like, too true. That is like the actual core issue. And then the other one that I really liked, I think it was towards the end, peace isn't what you buy when you have money. It's what you earn when you finally take the time to understand it.
Yeah.
And that kind of, this will probably come up again, but some of your videos start with solving the problem that like the title or the thumbnail poses, and then it takes it further into this like more philosophical realm in a really fair and well done way. And I feel like this video did that really well. So yeah, this is firm S tier.
S tier.
This is all the way at the top.
Yeah.
Here's our sticky.
Watch it. It's a good
Yeah,
one.
I would, if you were to watch anything, I would recommend this episode. I think this is a great one to start with. And yeah, actually, I had a posed question for this, but I already asked it, so we can just move on straight to the next one. There we go. First full S tier video.
S tier.
Yeah, let's go on to our next
one. Oh, the 7 levels one.
Yeah, 7 levels.
Another stolen format.
Yeah,
so I'm not the first person to do a 7 levels video.
That's the first thing I was gonna say.
But I think
this has gotten super popular.
I think I might have been the first person to do a 7 levels of understanding Bitcoin one, because we looked and I was like, I'm surprised. Maybe there's just not like a big YouTube meta in the Bitcoin space, but
only other one I can think of is BTC Sessions. He's done one.
He did one on Bitcoin wallets, I think.
He did 7 levels. Oh, 7 levels of wallets?
I think he might have done that.
Like as opposed to Bitcoin. Like 7 levels of wallets.
Yeah, like 7 levels of security or something. Yeah.
I don't know when it was. I just know he did one. I love how when people do this, they have to choose what level to put themselves in.
Yeah.
Because I was like, are you level 4 or was that just for the thumbnail?
I think I'm a level 4. I got to remember all the levels.
Maybe I was going to quiz you. I was going to see if you could remember them as well. Because there's,
I think there's like, like level 5, I think is the hardcore. Level 4 and 5 are kind of where most of us are that are in the Bitcoin space, I think. It's this point where like level 4 is like kind of like, okay, you're a Bitcoin maxi. You kind of understand like the problems with money. You've read like one Bitcoin book.
Yeah.
Level 5 is like you run a node, you have a take on core v knots, all that stuff.
I can read them off real quick. I wrote them down here.
Okay.
Are you okay with that? Can
Sure.
I say them for the video?
We'll speed run it. Yeah.
Going from the beginning, it's never coiners.
Yep.
Number 2 is Bitcoin traders.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is crypto people, which is basically crypto bros. But yeah, crypto people. Number 4, Bitcoin maximalists.
Yep.
Number 5 is just Bitcoiners.
Yeah.
So it goes Bitcoin maximalist to Bitcoin. I wanted to ask about the distinction of that. Number 6 is cypherpunks. And then number 7 is transcendence.
Mm-hmm.
That's the top.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of the thumbnail, yeah, I said A for this. I think it's a even though yes, it's a concept that's done a lot. I love this idea. It's like there's a reason that people are doing it because it's super fun to see this progression and see it like go up. And it's hilarious that your face is just straight in the center as well. I like that as well. I think that's really funny. Yeah, the idea super fun. Good editing, good B-roll, and this was the first time I noticed the Osmo Pocket. This is the video. I think I saw a shadow, and I was like, "Is that is what it is?" Or just the whole camera thing. And each level's description is like paired with an animation. Like it just feels nice and clean and cut for each little chapter. And yeah, you have the mic just attached to random objects, like a banana. If your mic clipped to a banana, clipped to like, you bring back the model car a few times, don't you?
Yeah, the Lamborghini.
Because again, what I actually love about that is again the statement that it makes is like so many people think like, oh, I need everything has to be perfect when I start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, and
it's just proof that like you don't need these things. You can just be ridiculous and it's fine as long as your core is there.
Yeah,
like that's really what matters. And I don't think I have any quotes for this one. No, I do. Bitcoin's not a trade, it's an exit. Because I was like, oh, that's perfectly on theme with the title of the channel.
I gotta be honest. I feel bad hearing some of these lines back because I have gotten really picky with AI. Like I do use AI to help me with my scripts. Mm-hmm. And one of these cliches that it just took me too long to realize is that AI has a tendency to do this in writing where it'll set up these like aphorisms like, oh, this thing isn't X, it's actually Y.
Yeah.
Or it'll use like these short staccato sentences. And it just took me a while to realize that my own scripts. And there's times where I was like, I'll let this one slide. But every now and then I'll hear those quotes back and I'm like, wish I didn't write that. Or
was that handwritten or was that an AI thing?
Well, it's AI. Like what I do is I write the structure of the script. I'll get the AI to kind of take a pass at it in my voice.
Yeah.
I feed it all my past scripts, but I'm finding more and more I'm actually using it less just because I don't like the way that it just papers over. I lose my unpredictability when AI writes a lot. Like you lose everything feels very smoothed out and too easy. So I have been trying to just backpedal and kind of do it more manually and just get it to be a critiquing tool more than a writing tool.
Yeah, writing is the one area where I'm not fully on board yet, or even really on board at all. Like there's a lot of cases I think are valid.
I don't think it'll ever get there.
Yeah, because for me it was like it can't like imitate an individual like a thumbprint.
It can't. You can give them full transcripts. You can give them like hundreds of pages of somebody's writing and be like, analyze what they do, analyze the patterns in their speech, and like then write me something in their voice, and it just doesn't. It just straight up cannot do it.
It's at the very least, it's not there yet. That's like probably what I could say confidently.
I don't know if that is something that can happen. Like I don't know if you really can steal someone's voice. I don't know what it is. I could be wrong, but Haven't seen it. At least my take is this: is like we'll get there eventually. I think there will be a whole new type of AI that will not be LLM based, which I think is a very like linear, forward thinking process. I know that now when you use Anthropic's tools, you can go and you can see it have this like massive inner monologue before it gives you a like an answer to something.
It's doing like the lines.
It does like the
thinking or whatever. Yeah.
And so I use that a lot now, and I'm like, you know, I want to pressure it to think, but even then, it still just churns out whatever. It doesn't have like a lot of self doubt, and yeah.
Well, the other quote that I really liked is you're talking about Bitcoin maximalists, and you say because you're sort of you're acknowledging like the growth in the right direction of becoming more Bitcoin focused, but also how they can be annoying.
Yes.
And your quote was, "They're not wrong; they're just insufferable about being right."
Yeah.
I loved that quote.
They're very insufferable.
It's so good and it's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this idea. It's obviously a fun format, even if it's done a lot. I did feel like Transcendence was a little cheesy as level 7. That's like the top one because there's like Bitcoin does, or the community mythologizes individuals. You see that a lot with Satoshi himself, or anyone, even if you think of like King Arthur and Knights of the Round Table, anyone close to him. It's like Hal Finney is like close to that at this point.
Yep.
And I think partially because he passed away, it's like he's the solidified figure now in Bitcoin's history. And it's so difficult to, we will never know, I think we'll never know who Satoshi is.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a debate there, but like overall, yeah, I really enjoyed this video. I give this one a B.
Yeah.
That's what I have for it.
I was on a B too.
You would go solid B?
Yeah,
There you go.
solid B.
Here's our sticky.
Oh, man. I wonder if we have any D or F tiers in here.
I mean, I gave one of those a D.
I
have
a couple videos I give a D or an F.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
We'll see what comes up next. We're halfway through. Yeah. We can keep these moving. We got about half an hour left.
All right.
So we can keep going.
Iran just kicked off. This is a recent one. Iran just kicked off Bitcoin's endgame.
Yep.
Ooh.
There it is.
Alrighty.
That's I did one note before I say this one. I did write a note to myself. I said I'm getting sort of tired towards the end of the workday, so I felt like it was my worst analysis. It's one of my shortest.
Oh, it's all good.
But yeah, this I think is topical, which not necessarily a good thing. It depends on what angle you're looking at it from. Because as a creator, I don't know if you think the same way, but my personal take is like I want a mix of more viral versus more evergreen.
Yeah.
Like something that hits
definitely
versus
not evergreen.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's hitting the subject really well. So I said may not necessarily be a good thing, but it depends on how you look at it. This is a thumbnail I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah.
Something about this is similar to the arrow. Doing the shush face is like, I hate it because I know it works. I know people are going to click on it, and that makes me hate it. But then like Dutch tilt, I'm just not a Dutch tilt guy.
No?
I don't know if that was on purpose.
We had a non-Dutch tilt version and it wasn't hitting, and I was like, let's do something a little different here.
I actually forgot. I remember that.
Yeah.
I saw the first one.
Yeah.
And then I saw that it changed at some point.
Yeah.
Because you can do, if anyone doesn't know on YouTube, you can do A/B tests now.
Yeah.
They launched it maybe a year ago or something. You can do 2 thumbnails, and whichever one succeeds becomes the leading thumbnail. So sometimes you'll see people change. It happens with all the big channels. They do it all the time.
Yeah.
But then, something about like the desert tan in the background on the Bitcoin orange. I was like, I just don't like the color combination.
Yeah.
That was just me.
Yeah.
But I will say, to give a compliment to it, it does stand out and it pulls your eyes. Even if I don't like the design that much, but it made me, I remember like it pulled my eyes when I looked at it.
That's good.
And if that's really all you want, honestly, it's like you want people's attention going towards it. But yeah, like I was saying, everybody is doing this, like Iran videos, or maybe the last 6 months or so, like they're all coming out. So you can kind of take, I think different people have different opinions on that. Some people want that because they want different views. But to me, it was like, oh yeah, everyone's doing this. You call this one moment. I don't know if you know this or not. You're gonna have to tell me. You call Flappy Bird Happy Bird.
Oh.
In the video, do you know that it's not Happy Bird?
It's not.
It's called Flappy Bird.
Oh shit.
In the video, you go, that's like if you were playing Happy Bird, and it made me laugh so hard.
Oh, you know what? I think I got it mixed up because like Angry Birds. I thought the other one was
Angry
Happy
Birds
Bird.
versus that would make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna
Flappy. Well, you know what? It's the Chinese knockoff, so maybe it is Happy Bird. You don't know that. You don't know that.
But something about that was just so funny to me because now I kind of want to call it Happy Bird.
Like, so like this is what I mean, right? Like this is what AI can't do. That joke.
Yeah.
So there's a joke in there where I'm saying saying
never
like,
happen.
China has all these goods and they barter with Iran, and Iran gives them oil, and then they get all these random Chinese products like this this AirPod case with a touchscreen on it, and it's like AI would never come up with that. How did I come up with that? Maybe it's not the best joke in the world. I was like in one of these these like Temu like shops in my local like big Chinese mall. And I saw this and I was like, what the heck? And I go in this like iPod. It has basic settings like alarm clock and changing the bass, but then it has this game mode on it. And I was there playing it for like 3 minutes in the shop. And I'm like, this is so silly and ridiculous, but also insanely high tech at the same time. Like if you went back even, 15 years ago and you show this to someone, they'd be like, how the heck did they get a touchscreen on an earphone case? Like it's just crazy abundance that we live in now with technology and
that
stuff.
was a big topic yesterday. People talking about abundance.
So.
You also made a Tim Apple joke, which that always makes me laugh.
Yeah.
That joke has never died for me.
Yeah.
And it's funniest when people don't go out of their way for it. It's not like a wink and a nod. You just say it and move on.
I have gaslit. I call him Tim Apple half the time I see his face.
Me too. Yeah. I say it to like other people. I'll be like, and they all know what you mean.
Yeah,
when you say it, they know.
They all know.
It's so funny. And I really liked that you don't say the phrase Strait of Hormuz until about 2 minutes in.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every single video that's on this topic right now, everyone's like Strait of Hormuz, Strait of Hormuz, Strait of Hormuz. And it's like the hook. And they're using it as like leverage and like exploitation almost. You actually explain the topic for about 2 minutes before you get there, which I really liked. It was more of like a setup. One thing that you did differently than I think a lot of people who were doing it, there was also a Czech National Bank reference, and I don't even know if you even considered the fact that you'd be sitting here talking about that, because I was like, hell yeah, we're in the Czech Republic now.
That is sick.
And you referenced it, so I was putting on my sunglasses when that happened. And then you did something at the end. I got to interpret my own notes here. I said you did a Bitcoin plug that I thought was really good. Oh, yeah. It was people making excuses at each price of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You were like, at 500, they made this excuse. At 5,000, they made this one. At 50,000, this.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is also very true.
Yeah, like every zero is like a defined Bitcoin era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sort of my question for this one, because I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see there, and you've got your left hand up, and it looks. I didn't notice until I looked closely. That's probably superimposed or maybe AI or something. Is that actually your left hand doing that? Yeah, in the thumbnail. It looks like
on my mouth or on the board?
On the board.
Oh, that's AI.
It looks okay. I was like, that's not your real hand, right?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. And that's not really a criticism. This is what my question is.
Yeah.
What are your boundaries on AI? Where would you say here it's appropriate, here it's not? When is it too much for you?
It's just got to look like 90% good. Like I don't know how to explain it.
That's
like,
the rule of thumb.
90% like if it looks like trash or it's uncanny, like I should be able to explain why something looks uncanny. Like proportionality is off. Like this one for sure is not one of our most beautiful thumbnails. We were trying to figure out how to do this because a lot of people who have done this topic have just done like shocked face, object here, and we're like, well, how could we do this with like a bit more depth? To kind of like stand out from the other people doing Iran Bitcoin stuff.
It look more empty without the hand?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. So yeah, we put the hand so it looked like I was kind of rotating this board. And the cool thing too is like, again, another cool AI thing. Like I had some visuals in here of like the boats going through this isometric, Strait of Hormuz, and you would have had to, unfortunately, pay VFX artists or 3D artists like a lot of money to do this in the past. And now you can sort of be like, hey, create me an isometric looking Strait of Hormuz, and then you can export that onto Photoshop, and then you can individually generate, the ships and then change the colors. Once you have your good looking image, you can plug that into generative video to have it actually animate itself. And it's like you're still using manual tools. There has to be a lot of human input in there, but you can create things without the actual, 3D rendering software. So I was like, well, we should do a thumbnail that kind of matches the visuals we wanted to go for in the video itself. So.
Yeah, my unpopular take on AI right now is that it is just another tool that is going to accelerate efficiency.
Yeah.
And we're in this early stage of seeing a lot of bad versions of it, but like people have always said like this new technology is going to take my job. Like it happened with like the car.
Yeah.
Like we won't be able to have like horse farms anymore. We have a car now. A lot of industrial revolution, same argument.
Yep.
And there is validity, I think, to both sides, but I think a lot of the fear that we have is like it'll be more about adaptation.
You just got to get good.
You
just
got to get good.
Just got to get good.
But overall, this was, I don't think I like this video as much.
Yeah,
I don't have as many of the specifics. I gave it a C for this one.
I even give it a D. you know, I don't hate the stuff that I make, but this was one of these time crunch ones where
we got to get this out.
when
You were like, I don't have 70 hours to spend this week.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I probably could have done like a way better job in this video, but also I knew from the start, like it's not going to be this video that people watch probably a year from now, and the story's going to change. So like, you know, just report it best you can, have some fun with it.
Yeah, I can't hate on it too much.
I'm going to give this one a D. I'm going to knock it down so we have the D
for
column
you.
filled
Yeah,
out,
yeah. Throw that in there. Yeah, because I think your C brought the other one up, and now my C was, or your D now brings it down. So that kind of, they equalize each other.
Well, I want to fill this out. Otherwise, I look like I'm just jerking myself off. Oh, this is also a recent one. Every way Bitcoin hit 100 or a million, 100K, forget. We've already hit that. Every way that Bitcoin hits $1 million. This is also one based off of a pretty popular format, and one that I swear if I launched this in October, 100K views.
And this would have blown up.
The only reason this one has not blown up is because no one believes it anymore and no one cares. And the Bitcoiners are like, wow, it's probably going to hit $1 million. It's not like an insane claim, but launch this peak bull market would have been a banger.
Man, that's sad. So,
but yeah, no, fun one.
I really like this video.
Yeah.
This is another one that I rank pretty highly. I thought it was a super cool idea. I had actually not seen this from anyone else. I was kind of like, why has no one else done this? Like when I looked at it, I was like, it's a great idea. And I love the thumbnail. I like this this balance. Again, not an overdone face. You kind of just got like the intrigue face. You got the little previews in the background. So it gives you like kind of a little taste. And then like you kind of like what's going to be back there. And the copy's communicative. Like just boom, 1 million. Like not too overdone. I really like that.
Yeah.
The education is, or execution I meant, is great. I think this one you're in the woods of Canada.
Yeah.
You're running around. There's like a house being built or
that's
something.
a little off-grid cabin I'm working on.
Yeah, and then you've got like, I mean, a number of different things. I don't feel like saying them as a spoiler because like if you don't know what they are, it doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah, power law.
Yeah, power law, gold 2.0, that makes sense intuitively.
Yeah.
But like reserve currency catalyst, that's like, might want to dig a little. The SRTC flywheel. Did you pick the word flywheel out of there? I was like, I never heard someone refer to this. Everyone's talking about STRC right now.
Yeah.
The big stock, but like flywheel, I was like, I heard it described
like,
that
if this
way.
goes up, they buy more Bitcoin. STRC is more backed, and
it all kind of feeds it.
Except it doesn't work that way.
And then I do love that you throw Hal Finney in there. We've already mentioned him once. I think people in the community know who that is.
Yeah.
And on the outside, you probably have no idea. Won't spoil anything beyond that, but I did write Hopium to the max.
Max Hopium.
Yeah.
Didn't hit. You know, unfortunately, this is the video that kind of made me decide, at least from when you're watching this, that we're going to take the channel in a different direction. Because I like making this video, but I realized we spend 70% of 4-year cycles in a downtrend. And people just like, if they're not responding to a video like this, I can't do these for 3 years until there's a bull market. Like I got to talk about some broader things.
It is market dependent.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know, I had this streak. We've had this thing going on Exit Manual where we would do like 3 pretty Bitcoin core audience videos and we try something more experimental. And we're totally flipping that on its head. We're going to do like 3 experiments for every, 1 Bitcoin video moving forward, just because like we got to get a bigger and a broader audience.
I was going to ask you about this because I am hot off the press. Your newest video is the Gen Z is like rewriting Hollywood.
Yeah.
Which I think came out like 24 hours ago.
Yeah, and it's like one of our worst performers. It'll probably be like the worst.
Is it
performer.
really?
Yeah, that's fine.
Dude, I loved it.
Oh,
I don't even have it in my notes because, so again, context for anyone listening, I met Julian yesterday for the first time in watching his channel for some time. But then I met you at the conference and I went home and the video was up. And I was like, when is he doing the videos? I was like, it's you flew over here, but this thing is still going on. I mean, obviously you have like
and today I'm filming one that will come out next Thursday.
Yeah, so you're always ahead of the game.
Grind never ends.
But I loved the video. I loved the Gen Z thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I really feel like there is this underserved idea of like, I don't know, feeding the future, like future generations. Like millennials are known, I don't want to like harp on, oh, we have the worst or anything, or we've had our own problems. Every generation has had their own problems. But I do feel like there was like a generational inversion where like a lot of like the boomers and a lot of some degree of Gen X had like a great time of things in the economy. and that a lot of that was not passed on to millennials.
Yeah, and
Like,
we're just like, what the heck, man?
yeah, I mean,
Where's our prosperity?
I love life. I enjoy the period we've gotten to. Like, we've seen some of the most incredible technology ever in human history.
Yeah.
There's stuff I love about being alive today, but the economy isn't one of them. That really isn't there. And so I love this idea of like, we need to be setting up future children, the future generations. And that is what the video is about. It's making an argument for that. And it is really kind of the opposite of a lot of the doom and gloom that has been such a huge part of just since, well, we talked about the invention of the smartphone, since smartphones and social media. Like, everything has been very, because it gets clicks, everything's been very negative for over a decade.
We rebranded the channel. The tagline is an anti-doomer guide for Zoomers. That's like the whole thing. You know, I mean, like, I know that they're doing great stuff. I think we should spotlight them a little bit more, but also just like, everything is Doom. Doom gets clicks. I'm gonna clickbait with Doom at some point, and then I'm gonna just sell you optimism, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm done,
the bait
man.
and switch.
I'm done, man. Our ancestors would be so disappointed in us if we spent all day complaining when we have all this abundance around us. We just have to learn how to utilize it a lot better. So,
well, this is my formal submission on camera that I fully back you in this new venture. I love that direction, so I think it's great.
Yeah.
How many are we on now? That was 7?
Yep.
Let's go ahead and keep. I had more to say, but we can just keep going.
Oh,
I
yeah,
gave
we'll
this.
rip it.
I gave this an S. I loved.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
loved this video.
I'll give it a B. So we meet at an A on
Yeah,
this?
we can do that.
Sick.
I think it's fair enough.
Yeah. I like this video because it's my other mantra, which is like, go outside and touch grass. I had a super fun time filming this in forests in the middle of nowhere, no technology. Because half the videos are like in random crowds and on trains, and then this one was out in the wild. So
touch grass is such an interesting. You wouldn't say idiom, is it? Just a phrase that people are saying.
Yeah.
Platitude? That's like a negative term, but like, I've heard it used, I feel like, in different ways, like in really positive, fair ways, and then really malicious ways as well. That phrase is very contextual.
Some people are saying like, go out and. But I think it's a good term. Like, I think it should be taken as a positive term.
Yeah.
Get off the phone. Go touch.
If you're
grass.
being genuine with it, like, hey, you know, maybe this would be a good thing.
I'm a professional grass toucher.
What do we got next?
Oh, the number one. Give me 9 minutes and you'll finally understand Bitcoin.
That's the number one.
This video is responsible for 8% of the subscriber count on the channel.
That's a hefty chunk.
Pareto principle, one video does a lot of lifting. So, yeah.
Give me 9
this
minutes.
one, magic in the air, baby. This was such a fun video because I was on a road trip with my dad for a whole week through the U.S. And I told him, I'm like, you know, he was like, oh, I want to do a road trip. And I said, I have like 2 or 3 days. And he's like, oh, come on, can we do a week? And I'm like, I got to put this show out. And he said, well, you can like write it in the car while we're driving. And I'm like, okay, but like, I'm not going to be that yappy. Like, I'm going to be in the car and just like in the car for an hour typing. Oh, we're taking a pit stop. Okay, I'll shoot a sentence here. And it was such a fun experience making this video. And I think that like also that travelness is felt in the video. I'm like bouncing around. I'm going through all these different places. But I was getting inspiration like sentence by sentence on how to continue the scripts. Because sometimes I'll get hung up, you know, writing each next part. And this one just came together so well. Like just puzzle piece by puzzle piece, metaphor by metaphor. It's definitely like one of the best ones that I've ever done. And I think it's like probably one of the best introductions to Bitcoin. I'll jerk myself a little bit on that. But I just feel there's a lot of videos that explain Bitcoin 101. My goal was to make like the most fun one that you can share with your friends and family. So, yeah.
So just one that people can pick up, be like, what's this channel about?
Yeah.
And they can watch this one.
Look at this. Similar.
I was going to say it's the reused asset.
If it works, it works, baby.
Yeah, I was going to say from a creative perspective, I don't think there's anything offensive about that.
Yeah.
Like it's something you can do and people typically won't notice or care.
Yeah.
But if it's a formula that worked, I think that's perfectly fine. I did say common trope, but not worn out.
Yeah.
I feel like this is still like a fun idea, similar to the 7 levels thing.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna. I'm sure I will see more.
Yeah.
The first one I saw was 7 levels of rap.
Yeah.
If you have not
I
seen
love
that, that's
video.
an amazing.
So good.
I'm not even a rap guy, and I was like, this is an amazing video. This is so good. But yeah, this to me, I actually said for this is hard to analyze after being in the industry for so long.
Yeah.
I have gotten so close to the product, so close to the technology, that it's almost difficult for me to be like, is this good? Which is probably bad for me to say, since that's largely what I do at this company is like make explainer videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a great explanation, like step by step. I thought it did glaze over the double spend problem a little bit, and I go back and forth on that because like that's a difficult one to get people to understand and also easily when you're doing it. But I thought tons of good visuals. You make this joke where you're holding, I'll show it to you, but we can pull this up as well real quick, where you're holding milk and cigarettes and you spit it out of your mouth. It's just a ridiculous joke that...
First time I've ever bought cigarettes too for the dumbest joke.
That feels, yeah, and you're talking about bartering.
You know, every year I spend thousands of dollars on props. Or since the beginning of the show, there's an allocated prop budget that consists of cigarettes, toy guns, random Bitcoin merch. This one was probably the most prop-heavy video.
All of this is making sense. Now that you said you were on a road trip, and you're just doing things on the fly, because I was like, where did I'm going to show you these one by one, and we'll pull these up on camera. You're doing this in one shot, and then you're on a slide, and you slide down into the camera, and I was like, this is another thing when you're viewing, it's like a funny little moment, and you're thinking, as a creator, you had to go find a playground, get up there, set up the camera, slide down for the shot, all for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
2 seconds of the video.
It's fun.
And then you're here doing a puzzle on a park
that
bench.
was a Pierre de Resistance.
That was, I thought that was like a really good way of like illustrating everything. Couple great quotes here. Money is just the concept that we agree on so we can trade the value of our energy.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff, I mean, maybe it's a little bit of a mouthful, but like they're great thoughts. I think that you write everything yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we said you wrote earlier. I didn't clarify it was exclusively you. But
it's me and a little AI help, you know.
And then the other one I liked was nobody can predict the price of Bitcoin, but everyone is able to predict the price of the dollar and where it's going. And that's also really insightful. If you watch the video, that'll make more sense. We're going to keep moving. I give this one a B myself.
Okay.
I liked it. It was a lot of fun. Just a solid YouTube video.
I give it an S tier. So
you're all the way on S?
Made it an A.
So is it A again? Yeah, for that one?
I mean, I think the views speak for itself.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah.
You could make that argument.
Slapped. Like, if it wasn't good, it wouldn't be getting those views, I don't think. Because it's just a 101 video, right? Like, there's a billion of them. So I'm happy with it.
All right. There we go. It's a solid list. Yeah.
I got to take a photo of this after. This is crazy cool.
I think we've got 2 more we should have, right? We're on 8. Right. This is 9.
Oh, boy. Okay. One day, everyone will wish they had 0.1 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Classic, right?
Classic.
Some genius, I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Luke Mikic or Simply Bitcoin people. I don't know who it was. Someone realized that leading with fractions of Bitcoin in a title and then saying you only need X amount really gets the clicks. And I was trying to figure out what is the psychology behind this, and I think it has to do with the fact that there are a lot of investors who never will have a whole Bitcoin, and so you're kind of tapping this idea that like you can still have wealth by having a fraction of one. Take your poison 0.1, 0.21, 0.05, whatever. And I do know that sometimes in the Bitcoin space, things are like therapy. So people want to be reassured that, even though I don't have a whole Bitcoin, like I'm still going to make it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did my own version of this. I don't remember the video too much itself. It's one of the older ones, but, did pretty well.
Was this older?
Yeah. 7 months.
It is. Yeah. I keep getting this mixed up in my head because it's another one I hadn't seen before. And I really like this one. I love this thumbnail. I love like slice of the pie is kind of what I was thinking. But then, you only need blank. And I've seen similar things, but never this exact combination. I said I still hate arrows. So instead of an S, I'll say A+ again. But otherwise, really strong. I really like that thumbnail a lot. Excellent idea. And it's like, because of that bold claim, it makes me think like, how's he going to justify it?
Yeah.
How's he going to like make this happen? And this is, one that it feels like it just caught fire at some point.
Yeah.
And everyone's talking. I've seen this number a few times, this claim back and forth. Because, for the longest time, it was like you need 1 Bitcoin. And now it's like 0.1. Yeah. And it's like, well, how are they going to float
Bitcoin
that?
drops. So if you can save 62 grand or 63 grand, do it.
So excellent idea. Bold claim. Had me interested from the beginning. That was like A+ all across the board for that.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say is like the opening shot. Yeah, maybe you don't remember this. Is you sleeping on a bench.
Yeah.
You have like a blanket pulled over you, and I was like, people don't realize the real world environment.
Yeah.
Like on a video, you have this degree of separation.
Yeah.
But you have to actually go out and in broad daylight in public, like
best job ever.
Set up a camera.
Best job ever.
It's
Best
so
job
funny.
ever, for
Yeah,
sure.
I loved that. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
There were a few. I think there's a chart in here where you talk about like investing in the S&P 500 with Bitcoin and how it would have gone poorly.
Yeah.
I was like a little confused by it, but it was like whatever. I said you made one point where you're like all millionaires are going to want to own it at some point, which was a great argument for demand. Actually, we hadn't heard about that because I think you say like 97% of millionaires don't own Bitcoin somewhere in there. Not verifying the stats, but yeah, I'll just trust your word on that one. This is where you had the water shot. This is where there's like
the
little,
duckies, yeah.
little rubber duckies. And then at the end, even though it was Blockstream Jade again, our competitor, I probably shouldn't even be saying their name. I don't know. I just think it's funny to bring up the fact that you have a competitor on there.
Hey, open source. We like that, right?
Yeah, it's true. Actually, one thing, this is a total diversion. I'm going to try to be quick, but our founder, one thing I really like that Stick and Slush, I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're the two people who started Trezor and invented the technology. He was asked once about like other things out there, and we are very prideful. I'm just making jokes about the competitor thing. We're very prideful about the open source thing, so that anyone can do what they want. It's exactly what allows this.
Yeah.
Because he was asked once, like, what do you think about these other people making hardware wallets as well? And his quote was, 2 cars on the same highway. He was like, we're all going in the same direction.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, like, internally, we make jokes about competitors all the time. But, like, in real life, it's all going towards, like, the same value system. We're all driving towards the same thing.
I wouldn't be surprised, too, if your average customer has multiple brands of hardware wallets. Because, like, you know, I've been in this space for a bit, but I literally have every single one, I think. I like the Infinity Stones. Like, oh, yeah. I've got cold cards, I've got Trezors, I've got BitKeys, I've got Blockstreams. The only company I am done with is Ledger, but we won't besmirch
we don't have
too
to dig
much.
into that right now.
I don't know about their products, but let's just say I'm not a big fan of them leaking my data and getting 1 billion phone calls every single. I have to change my number because of Ledger, so thank you, Ledger, for that.
New phone number.
Anyways, I don't remember this video too well, honestly. I remember sleeping on the bench. It felt like a video like I had to do for the views more than like this thing I'm so passionate about like bringing into every day. And I might do it again for the views. I think you should try and accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible, but like 0.1 is probably a good starting point. So yeah, I don't know. I'd give this one probably a B or a C.
Yeah, it was an A for me.
Oh yeah?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was really strong.
C and B.
We could, yeah, we could.
All right, we got one last one.
Final video.
Will we dethrone? We have one S. Can it be dethroned?
I don't even know which one it is now. I'm like scrolling through my document trying to find. Oh, I think I got it. I think I know what it is.
The hidden tax you pay rich people.
Do you know why this is in here before we get started?
Well, I see that you have the first 3. This is like the second video we ever put out.
It is. This is the lowest viewed video. That's why it's in here.
Oh, really? Is it less than the first one?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's 9.9 instead of 11.
So, we actually put out video 1 and video 2 next to each other. So video 1 came out on like August 27th or something, and then this came out August 28th because I thought video 1, it felt like a trailer to the idea of the channel, less than like a regular episode. It's only like 4 minutes, right? So it's like an intro, but it doesn't really feel like you would never send this to people. It feels like almost like a self-promotional or story thing. So I was like, okay, I have to put out like an actual episode so people understand like what the show is going to be. And so this was kind of what I would say is the first real episode. But yeah, it's not super about Bitcoin. This was a hard one to figure out how to package too, because we didn't have, in the YouTube space, we had this term called outliers. You're probably familiar of it, but you can have these tools that can find YouTube videos and they can give it a score based on how many more views that video got versus the average amount of views that channel gets on a typical video. And so an outlier will be anything typically, let's just say if an average channel gets 20K views per video, an outlier would be 40K or more views. And so what you do to find good video ideas is you try and find multiple outliers around the same subject or the same packaging, because if it's working for someone else, it'll probably work for you too, and it might be one of your outliers, right? And outliers are what grow your channel. When we first started the channel, we were aware of the outlier concept, but we were like, we don't know how to apply it to this like idea that we're very passionate about, which is inflation as this hidden tax. So we didn't quite have the best packaging for it. I don't know if maybe there's better ones now, but the video itself I'm stoked on. The packaging I look back on and I'm like, I understand why I didn't get a lot of views, you know.
That's almost exactly what I had written down.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't huge on the thumbnail. I just feel like it's a lot of information. as well as like
it's too much for information for sure.
and the hidden copy is like that sort of thing. It's the same thing we talked about before. It's like a little overdone.
Yeah.
But super strong video.
Yeah.
The concept of hidden tax, it almost sounds like you are just lying, like you're just making something up, because it almost sounds unbelievable. It's like this guy is talking about something that's going to be some like bait and switch or something, and it's going to be some cheap thing. But when you actually dig into it, it's completely legitimate. Because I have this problem explaining my job to people. Like, first of all, I don't like telling people I work in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I personally have the conviction, and I really am behind a lot of this. But like when I flew back to America, oh, what are you doing now? I make videos for a Bitcoin company. Like that conversation is just like not.
Like, oh, okay.
You know that people have all these things loaded in the back of their head.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about even. I think this is like a great thing to bring up, but it's like almost impossible to get around.
Yep.
This idea of like, oh, the hidden tax you pay, because it sounds like, again, conspiratorial and like you're bullshitting, but you're not. Like it is a genuine thing where it is like eating away at the value of what you have,
and it disproportionately affects one group of earners.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the other thing. You talk, is that where I have I think you mentioned how is it pronounced? Cantillon effect?
Cantillon effect, yeah.
Cantillon. Is that how it's pronounced? Yeah, you talk about people closest to, I had heard that phrase, but I never actually looked into it. I'd just been learning it from context. And when I actually looked it up, it was like, people closest to the money are the ones that benefit the most. Yeah. And then it gets damaged all the way down to like wage earners, retirees,
people
like
have to go to
pensioners.
Money Mart and pay 146% interest rates to borrow money versus people who pay 1%, right?
Yeah, and that idea, I just like, and until you directly think about it or can consider it, it's like, this is not just speculation. This is what is happening.
Yeah.
It's just straight up the reality of the world that we live in. And so, like, that's why I think this is such a good video. It's drawing this idea that people don't even think about. They go, like, the reason everyone is talking about stocks is because there's no other choice. You have to do that if you're working in a fiat system or some sort of assets. And we talked about, diversification, all these things. Those are forced hands when you're in a fiat system. So this video addressing that, I think, is perfect. Regardless of the thumbnail itself, like the content is great. This is another one where you just had great shots. There's like,
oh yeah, that's on the island.
Yeah, you were out on a dock in a lake, and you have a lighter and a lit wick in each hand. And again, no one thinks about that, but I'm like, you have to carry all these props out here and prepare them, set up the shot, make sure the lighting's good, and then light something on fire and get the line while it's burning. Yeah. It's like all these things that are going on. So I loved that. One last question, since I think we're about out of time here, but we got through everything, which is great.
Sick.
If you had just one thing to tell people about the reality of running or growing a YouTube channel, what is something you would tell the people that maybe they wouldn't expect or maybe they should be prepared for going into it?
If you want to do it successfully, there's just two things. And you need to focus all your time and energy into these two things and remind yourself between every video what they are. Number one is your audience. Who are you making these videos for? Like, get it down to the wire. If your audience looks like you, that's one thing, right? If you're making videos for people in the same age, the same demographics, whatever, same income stream, that's one thing. But that's probably not always the case. You know, you could be a super fan of something and make videos for other super fans. But sometimes you're not, and you need to identify that very clearly. You got to know your audience 100%. And for me, it was like, it's still something I'm working on, where I wanted to make videos for Bitcoiners to some extent, but I was like, no, I want to grow the pie. So like, there's a big difference between making videos about Bitcoin and videos for Bitcoin, if that makes sense. And so I still want to make videos for Bitcoin, but eventually it became making videos about, I want to make videos about Bitcoin, but I ended up making a lot of videos for Bitcoin, stuff that made Bitcoiners feel good versus like actually got what Bitcoin is to a broad audience. And, we're recalibrating that right now. And sometimes the path forward is not the obvious thing. And I think sometimes the path to getting more people into Bitcoin is not throwing Bitcoin in the thumbnail and weaving it into other economic discussions, right? Or cultural discussions. The second most important thing to know, besides your audience and really who you're making videos for and what they're about, is consistency. Like, you have to figure out a cadence, because you're going to have to take a lot of shots on net. And the question is, are you going to give up everything to take shots on net, once a day? Are you going to do it once a week, once every 2 weeks, once every 4 weeks? If you can't stick to a schedule for at least a year, I don't know if I would start, or I wouldn't, let's just say, have the expectation that this is going to replace a job. if you can't figure out a cadence that you can stick to for at least a year. It doesn't have to be every day. It could be every week, every 2 weeks, but you have to pick one from the start, and you got to stick to it for at least a year before you say, this is my thing or this is not my thing. I really believe that. Yeah, those are my 2 tips for people getting into this. Consistency and know your audience. Analyze it every single day. Figure out what they're watching. Figure out what their needs and their wants and their desires and their wishes are for the world. And hopefully they overlap with some of yours, so you have fun making the videos like I do. But yeah.
It feels like you had that answer just in your back pocket, just
a little bit
ready to come out.
Well, I have to remind myself of it. Like consistency, it's like I move heaven in high water to try and make this happen every single week. Like, you know, it's exhausting, but it's just like, it seems small, but like people are there every Thursday and they want it. And it's just like, you got to let your ego go and just make it happen, you know?
Yeah, that's a great answer. Here's your sticky. I said A for this one. I actually really liked the content.
I'm gonna give it a C, so we can even it out.
Or going in the middle again?
Yeah, just because I think that this video should have gotten more views, because I think it's a really great message that a lot of people can learn from, but we just didn't package it.
Well, also in some ways it is a little unfair because it's early in the channel.
Yeah,
like, you don't have the subscribers.
You know what's cool is you can redo your thumbnails and your titles anytime you want.
Yeah, that's true. You can still change those also, as a creator.
You know what you can do is you can just delete the video, and then you can just redo the packaging and then repost it as a new video. And
that's true.
You don't have to shoot that week.
Are you not you're not scared that like deletion is going to hurt the metrics or like the way YouTube
this got
views it?
10,000 views, right? So
we'll
true. See. This
but you can
like,
private. You can just do private, it stays up.
If I need a break one week, guys, because you guys are heavy on me with the weekly videos, a lot of you missed this one.
Here's this new video.
I might just repackage it. And I'll stick a sponsor read in it too, you know, because that one didn't have a sponsor read either. So I'm getting all sorts of great ideas too.
I feel like this came out to like a pretty fair balance, like between all of them. I lean heavier towards like quality. Obviously, I've said already, I'm a fan. I love the channel.
I'm so grateful that like you did all this. Like this is a lot of work to put this together, and it's like this is so cool to see it all come together.
It's super fun, man.
I hope people who are watching this who enjoy Bitcoin but also feel like they want to contribute something to the space take some inspiration from, you know, this journey. Like, yes, I have a film background, but like 99% of what I've learned is just through actually doing. It's not through studying or, you know, watching a ton of YouTube videos. It's just going out and failing. And I've been blessed because of Bitcoin to have the time to go out and fail and make these things. But you don't have to go crazy like I do with all the visual effects and the crazy camera work. Like, just make stuff. People want to hear from you. They want hope. So go out and make stuff.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming out, man.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. I guess we have one more day at the conference. If you guys have not seen the speech that he did, they will post it online, won't they?
I hope, yeah.
Will they have it at some point? Yeah, check it out. It'll just be under BTC Prague. And then Julian Figueroa. I didn't know your name until like a week and a half ago. You've just been the exit manual to me for like,
I should have like
8 months.
I blew the chance of having a fake name. That is my real name, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's maybe we'll censor it every time it comes up in the video.
It's okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, and I guess we'll see you around next time you're in town.
Awesome. Thanks so much,
Yeah,
Sean.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.